All the students who are on the first floor, they are requested to please come down. Nobody is allowed to sit on the first floor from now onwards.
check. Hello, check.
I request everyone to kindly settle down. We are about to start. A warm good afternoon to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, participants and members of I Am Ranchi fraternity, I welcome you all to the valedictory function of the 16th ISDSI Global Conference 2023. As we gather to bring down on this incredible conference, today, let's reflect on the knowledge shared, connections made, and the collective journey we have embarked upon in these 3 days. Your enthusiasm and participation has fueled the success of this event. I am happy to invite the dignitaries on the dais to mark the beginning of our valedictory function. We have amongst us the chief guest of the function, Professor Bharat Bhaskar, Director IIM Ahmedabad. I invite our chief guest to please come on the dais. We have amongst us Professor Bhim Raya Maitri, President ISDSI Global and Director IIM Trichy. Sir, I request you to please come on the dais. I also request Professor Deepak Kumar Srivastava, Director IIM Ranchi, to kindly come on the dais. I request Professor Ravi Kumar Jain, Secretary General, ISDSI Global, and the Director of Sparsh Global Business School, Greater Noida, to come on the dais. Now I invite Professor Arindranath Mishra, Professor Rajesh Jain, and Professor Ambuj Anand, 16th ISDSI Conference co-chairs, to kindly come on the dais. I request all the participants to kindly join me in welcoming our dignitaries on the dais with a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, this journey of 16th ISDSI conference has been dynamic, with each session contributing to the collective understanding of its theme, reimagining globalization, the power of digital interconnection in a deglobalizing world. Without further ado, let's dive into the key moments of this conference. For this, I request Professor Ambuj Anand, 16th ISDSI Conference co-chair, to kindly present the conference summary report.
Thank you. So I'll start with thank you again for making this a grand success. And now I would like to present the report of this particular conference. This year we had 593 paper submission for ISDSI conference. We had, out of that 593, we had 573 registrations. We had representation from all the IIMs, all 21 IIMs had submitted at least one paper to this particular conference. Majority of IITs and NITs, their management department were represented in this particular edition of conference. Most of the leading premier B schools, many departments of central universities, and roughly around 10 countries were also represented in this cohort of 573 registrations. We had a total of 218 institutions represented by 1,078 authors of these papers. The event was kind of spread out across 4 days. Day 0, that we call the of the first day of the event, was doctoral program. We had 5 doctoral workshops, followed by parallel tracks by doctoral students. The day 1 of the event was the inaugural session of this particular conference. After that, we had directors panel. We had a CEO's panel on the same date. We had a discussion on social impact and governance. We had 15 tracks running parallelly on that particular day, covering around 200 papers. And in the evening, we had a beautiful cultural event representing the cultural form of Jharkhand. And in the end, at night, we had directors' welcome dinner. The whole idea that we kind of conceptualized that more and more parallel tracks would allow our participants to attend the plenary sessions, and through that they would benefit more, which is why we created larger number of parallel tracks on day 2. On day 2, we had 21 parallel tracks covering more than 200 papers again. On this date, on day 2, we had accreditation session in the morning, followed by a session on publishing in high impact journal. And then we had a session which guided us to develop high impact journals from India. We had a case study workshop as well. And then we had a session on women entrepreneurship in tribal areas. I am Rachi, belonging to Jharkhand, which is dominated by tribals. We had a responsibility towards that part of the society, which is why we thought it would be important to include that in one of our plenary track. At the end of day 2, we had drum circle guided by Professor Gaurav Marathe, which was followed by the gala dinner. Day 3, which is today, which is the last day of the conference, we started with a session on startup and entrepreneurship, and then we had a session on internationalization of Indian B schools. We are at the end of today's event. We are at the end of ISDSI conference, and this is our valedictory event. Today we will also announce who would be our next host institute, and I hope that our next host institute would take this to the next level of grandeur, to the next level of success. We also believe that the internationalization part of this particular conference, which it is kind of expanding every year, it is expanding its footprint every year to new and new countries, would be further expanded and it would become more and more global. With this, I will end my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we conclude this remarkable conference, now I request Secretary General, ISDSI Global, Professor Ravi Kumar Jain, to share his insights and remark. His guidance has been instrumental in shaping this event. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Swati. Good afternoon to all. Today's chief guest for the valedictory function, Professor Bharat Bhaskar, Director IIM Ahmedabad. The mentor and the lead for ISDSI, the visionary for ISDSI, Dr. Professor Bhimarai Maitri of IIM Nagpur. Host and champion for this year, and my dear friend, Professor Deepak Srivastav of IIM Ranchi, and the champions who led the team, or I would call them pinch hitters, who came in the last death overs and then kind of made it success. Dr. Rajesh and Dr. Ambuj and Dr. Amrish. Anirban, sorry, I didn't know. This is, in fact, they made us 1 year younger. They say Solva Sal is always important, but we have graduated to 17th year. This is the 17th conference. We started in 2007, and 2023, we We completed 17 years and 17 conferences. Even during the peak of COVID, ISDSI happened. In fact, distinction is it happened in Raipur under the leadership of Sir, and we did it with more than 250 submissions during the COVID. So it's very heartening actually, as ISDSI community is growing and we want it to go global, as I said in my inaugural remarks, that this is the platform that we are grooming, and we started with that vision of making it global. And today, as I stand here, we are already having our footprints in 4 countries and 3 more to add, but then we could not make announcement because they could not participate, they could not join us today for this conference. But next year, when we go to Pune, we will be having at least footprints in 10 countries. That's a target that Professor Maitri has given, and Professor Khedkar is already working on that, being the champion for our international initiatives. A few things that I want to share, our last 3 days experience at IIM Ranchi is, this is one of the most loaded conferences so far in terms of number of panels, number of workshops, and of course, number of sessions. So that's a distinction here, apart from what the conference chair has mentioned, Ambuj, that all IIMs and all IITs are represented. This is the first time that has happened. So which is a distinction that we have created in Ranchi. It is also broad-based in terms of the India footprints. From down south to almost Jammu, from Assam to Rajasthan, the entire country is covered. So in terms of the reach, it is one of the most broad-based conference so far. A lot of new discoveries. If I have to share the story, we started with great enthusiasm, but then there was a lull and a gap. At one point, we were slightly apprehensive or scared कि क्या होगा. So when we spoke to Professor Deepak Srivastava, he said, Bhaiji, don't worry, बढ़िया होगा. These are his words, बढ़िया होगा. And I think, बढ़िया हुआ है. Amazing. And thank you so much for that, all the efforts that your team has put in. And one I would say the best players of this game are the students of IIM Ranchi. A big round of applause for them. From day 0 till now, and perhaps till the sea of all the guests, they are on the toes. And amazing work, great coordination, fantastic, I would say hospitality, and the way you guys have so-called shadowed all the guests and dignitaries and taken care of them, that reflects of the culture that is being built here on this campus. My best wishes to all of you, and to all the participants who joined us. Normally valedictory functions are very limited with 20-30 people, but I see the hall full here, and a lot of scholars present here. Maybe the motivation is the announcement of best paper and all. We would like to see you all with your colleagues and friends to bounce your ideas at the next ISDSI conference. Looking forward to see you all there, and help us in increasing the footprint of ISDSI. It's your conference, it's our platform, it's platform for India, it's platform from India for the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Professor Deepak Kumar Srivastava, the Director of IIM Ranchi, to share his thoughts and reflections on this conference.
Johar, Namaste, good afternoon, respected Professor Bharat Bhaskar, Director IIM Ahmedabad, Chief Guest of the function, Professor Bhimrai Maitri, Director IIM Nagpur, Conference Chair, and the main person behind this ISDSI, Professor Ravi Kumar Jain, Director Spurs Global Business School, my colleagues, Professor Rajesh, Professor Ambuj, Professor Endranath, who looked after the responsibility of this conference as a chairperson, respected invitees, participants, faculty colleagues, staff members, dear students. We have come to the end of this conference. I'm confident that you would have had a wonderful experience during these 3 days. I have 2 sets of reflection because it is time for reflection. One set of reflection as an observer. I found this is the most inclusive conference where there is something for everyone. There is a doctoral, this kind of a exclusive program, doctoral consortium. There is a special discussion for CEO panel, internationalization. There is a separate, discussion for the accreditation, director panels, and of course, so many parallel tracks. So whether you are a researcher, administrator, or teacher, this conference was meaningful. My congratulations to Professor Ravi and entire his team for conceptualizing this entire, the pattern, the format of the conference. The second reflection as a director of this institute, the most important part for any organization is the capability, set of the capabilities. And there has to be kind of assessment periodically what capabilities you have and what capabilities are needed to fulfill your strategic priorities or meeting your mission and the vision. And that benchmarking is required. There are multiple ways of doing this. One possible way is to set relatively higher your goal, leverage the capabilities, and experiment. I have learned this, my most respected Maitri sir. He was the director of IIM Tirchi. I worked under his, mentorship. When he moved to new campus, and if I am correct, he conducted 3 conferences in a year. And that was very, very supportive, and that contributed a lot in infrastructure development. And that infrastructure we can see now what IIM Tirchi is having. The same proposition I tried to validate in IIM Ranchi. In last 14 days, this is the 3rd big event. We started from 15 December, there was a foundation day. Then we had 4 days long young change maker program where 100+ students from different parts of the world attended. Students from 6 countries and 20 states participated. And of course, this is mega conference where around 600 participant delegates have come. So one of the, the capability that was missing, the kind of food service and how to manage this food services. And we had a lot of challenges, but I would like to thank the Sodexo. And once this Sodexo company was finalized, and within a very, I think, couple of weeks, they come and they started functioning over here. So this is, so the key takeaway is that, set relatively or slightly higher goals and leverage the capability, do assessment, what you have, what you want, and then move forward. So this is the key takeaway as a director from this conference. I am thankful to all the participants who are here. And I request you to be part of Social Impact Conference of IIM Ranchi, which is going to be signature conference of IIM Ranchi. And the first edition of this conference will take place in 2024. Professor Gaurav will be going to share the more details about this Social Impact Conference. Sir, social impact is one of the strategic priorities of the Institute. We identified 4 priorities and social impact is one of them. And what we believe that social impact has emerged as a dimension of different functional areas, whether it is the marketing, finance, information system, there would be kind of dimension, there would be touch of the social impact. And considering this, we decided to have, a exclusive conference on social impact. Of course, there would be different tracks considering different functional areas and other emerging areas. And we are planning to have it in 2024 December. The dates will be announced by Professor Gaurav. With this, I would like to thank again and look forward to meeting you 2024 Social Impact Conference. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Jai.
Thank you, sir. It is with great anticipation and honor that we prepare to hear from Professor Bhim Raya Maitri, President of the ISDSI Global. His vision and dedication have played a crucial role in shaping the course of this event. I warmly welcome Professor Maitri to please address us.
Respected today's chief guest, the great institution builder and the director of country's the most sought after a great institution, IIM Ahmedabad, and Professor Deepak Srivastava, the dynamic director of IIM Ranchi, Professor Ravi Kumar Jain, Secretary General ISDSI, the conference chairs Rajesh, Ambuj, and Arindra, all the invited guests, distinguished people, faculty members, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I take this opportunity to congratulate IIM Ranchi for successfully completing and conducting this 17th ISDSI at this very beautiful campus, new campus of IIM Ranchi. Hearty congratulations. As all of you know, I think I was fortunate to work with Professor Deepak at IIM Trichy, and he has done number of activities, number of conferences he has conducted, and this is another example how successfully mega conferences are done. And when 1 year back, when we talked to Professor Deepak, he said we will do it in new campus. And I think all of you have seen the campus. It is a beautiful campus with lot of vibrations. And it is opportunity for many of us, those who are coming from other than Jharkhand, to see the campus and also the best practices. Probably you might have seen the social impact, as Professor Deepak was talking about, sustainable development goals, 17 sustainable development goals, 2030 supposed to, as per the United Nations, was supposed to do. And I'm happy to know that IIM Ranchi has already taken 4 important areas. IIM Ranchi is working, and I'm sure it is going to set an example and role model for many business schools in the country. So hearty congratulations for this new initiative. And this, any conference, when you begin with the conference, you don't know. It is always uncertainty will be there in the beginning. And once you complete the conference, conduct the conference successfully, and today after this valedictory, probably all my conference chairs, they realize we also did it successfully. Because till to do, we don't know how it will happen. Lot of uncertainty, lot of hurdles, difficulties, and you also see that many times what you think it doesn't happen. But after the conference, maybe after an hour or so, I think all the conference chair under the dynamic leadership of Professor Deepak Srivastava, they realize, they build also, they get a confidence that we can do much bigger than this conference. I think that is a great learning out of this. I think this is one, and this conference, it started, as Ravi said, 2007 started, and our founding leader, Dr. Ramchandra Natarajan, and along with his colleagues, so he started 2007, and we are happy to know that it is growing. Every year, this conference is setting a new benchmark and also raising the bar. And today, and when we were day before yesterday, when the cultural program was happening about Chota Nagpur, I think the kind of songs, so best of the, Ranchi, we all have seen, and best of the other part of the world has come to IIM Ranchi. So this has become, through ISDSI, this has become a platform to our symbiosis to attract the best of the world to the IIM Ranchi and best of the Jharkhand to rest of the world. I think this is a symbiosis through this conference, and we experience, otherwise we would not have seen the original native songs and dance of this area. So this is a new experience, and India is country of, a lot of cultures and languages and many diversity, probably we can see in India only, and Jharkhand is particularly very unique as a Chota Nagpur region. I think we have all experienced. So I thank the director, Professor Deepak Kumar Srivastav, and all the conference chair for successfully conducting the conference. And what you all seen, this is a 3 days, but unseen effort done by the director and all the conference chair. So what we can't see, but they have last 1 year, the kind of effort they have put, which is not seen, all of us, but they know how much effort goes to make the conference successful. So I think that unseen effort is extremely important, which others can't see. They can see that it is a great conference. But for that, lot of effort and patience. So hearty congratulations to the entire team of IIM Ranchi. And I wish IIM Ranchi, I am sure, a new campus and first of its kind of a mega conference, as Director Deepak ji rightly said. And here onwards, many such conferences will happen, and every conference will move to the next orbit. It will set a new examples, and such a beautiful campus in the heart of Jharkhand, and I'm sure this institution will reach higher heights under the leadership of Professor Deepak Srivastav. So it is just beginning. I think many more such events. Already he has said social impact and happiness conference. Many such conferences are going to be there. So with this, and we are lucky to have today our chief guest, Professor Bharat Bhaskar ji. He is a great institution builder. He has, built a beautiful campus of IIM Raipur, and also positioned it as one of the best IIM in a shorter span, not only building the institution, take it to higher heights, and now I am sure he is positioning IIM Ahmedabad to, much higher heights at global level. Already the symbols and indicators are there. I am sure we are going to learn a lot, and we are lucky to have him today as a chief guest of this valedictory function. So thank you very much for accepting the invitation for this. So with this, once again, thank you very much all the participants coming all over the part of the world, and particularly a special thank to Dr. Mohammad Mushraf coming all the way from Bangladesh, and now he is also going to lead ISDSI Bangladesh. So thank you very much for accepting invitation coming over here. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Now, I'd like to call upon the dais Professor Gaurav Manohar Marathe from IIM Ranchi for an announcement.
Respected guests on a desk, all the esteemed professors and scholars, and my dear IIM Ranchi community. I'm here to announce inaugural IIM Ranchi Social Impact Conference. We kind of are very proud that under our leadership's vision of local responsiveness with a global orientation, and IIM Ranchi community designing social impact as one of the pillars for our Vision 2030. We are launching our first IIM Ranchi Social Impact Conference in 2024. And I kind of invite all the scholars, all the researchers, and the industry alike for this 2024 Social Impact Conference. This year, conference theme for 2024 is going to be the Unleashing Business Harmony, the Profitability, Impact, and Sustainability. Join us 2024 for navigating the integrate crossroads of profitability, impact, and sustainability, a transformative journey where businesses evolve from passive observers to proactive architects of innovative solutions. In this dynamic world, businesses transcend the conventional and are becoming more powerful catalysts for change. Our conference basically is more than an assembly of researchers at one place, but it is more about, kind of creating a way or view business profitability into a fabric of social and environmental stewardship. It is not just a call for paper, but it is to contribute the blueprint to redefine how we are going to look forward to our collective future. We are going to have certain tracks, so this is just kind of a brief idea about it. We will having some beautiful and intriguing discussions on sustainable business strategies, profitability, how we can redefine it, impactful innovations, what it can be about environmental stewardships beyond compliance to meaningful actions, certain socio-economic empowerment, how we can transform and approach the community engagement, what will be the future leader forums, what can be the visionaries who can lead the sustainable businesses. Can decent work and meaningful work can become organization responsibilities, and can organizations really drive their businesses with employee first strategy where they prioritize employee well-being. These are the few tracks, and details would be launched soon on the website. I once again invite all of the scholars on IIM Ranchi campus to join with us on 26th and 26th December 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly honored to have a distinguished leader in education and administration among us. He's none other than our chief guest, Professor Bharat Bhaskar, Director of IIM Ahmedabad. Prior to accepting the position of Director at IIM Ahmedabad, he has served as a Professor of Information Technology and Systems at IIM Lucknow. He has also served as Director of IIM Raipur from March 2017 to March 2022, as Acting Director of IIM Lucknow during July 2015 to November 2015, as a Mentor Director Convener at IIM Sirmaur in 2015. He was honored with Best Director of Business Schools Award for transforming IIM Raipur to a great place to work and its exponential growth. Professor Bhaskar has held various visiting academic positions such as International Expert Advisor at the University of Tenaga, National, Malaysia, International Expert Research Grants at the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada, Visiting Professor at the ISDSI Business School, Paris, Distinguished Professor at the Chung Ang University, Seoul, Korea, Research Professor at the University of California, USA, Visiting Professor at the University of Texas, USA, and Adjunct Faculty at the University of Maryland, College Park. Professor Bhaskar has acquired rich industry experience in addition to his academic experience. He has held senior positions at multiple organizations such as Connectix, Sybase, MDL Information Systems, and Tata Steel India Limited. He has also been associated as a chairman at the Services Sector Development Council, Bureau of Indian Standards, president at the Indian Subcontinent Decision Science Institute, USA, chairman at the Computer Society of India, Lucknow, and as a member of Board of Governors at various organizations. We are thankful to the chief guest of the event, Professor Bharat Bhaskar, Director of IIM Ahmedabad, for gracing us with his presence. I request our esteemed chief guest to kindly share his words of wisdom with us.
Thank you for kind introduction. Professor Maitri, Professor Khedkar, Professor Ravi Jain, Deepak, who have been at the forefront of establishing the presence of ISDSI in India, creating a wonderful conference which everybody waits for. And this year, Professor Rajesh Jain, Amboj, and Arindam have done a wonderful job of collecting more than 500 people and 500 papers, establishing and advancing the tradition which has been there year after year. This conference continues to grow. People have marked in their calendars, research scholars I especially know, look forward at December calendar that we have to be there at ISDSI conference. So let me congratulate all of them for establishing such a wonderful conference. All the people who have presented papers here, I'm sure they had an enriching experience with the feedback they got, the interaction they received with other scholars, and this will help them in advancing the cause. I was looking at the sessions that it also talked about how can we move India forward or our research forward in a higher category or higher bracket. And that We are doing a wonderful research in this country for decades, but our focus has not been in publishing what we call the top journals. And there's a methodology, not only the research methodology, but also a publication methodology. And this conference this time has focused on imparting or sharing amongst each other that methodology as well. So we'll go forward with that in publishing domain in this country. Now, as far as the conference theme is concerned, I was thinking about globalization. And globalization is not a new phenomena. Globalization started, I think, almost 300,000 years ago. When because of the inclement climate, search for food, a group of people began to move out of Africa. And they found, as they migrated in search of food and better climate, all across the, what we call the current globe. And while searching for it, the globalization led to localization. Because as they found a fertile agricultural land, you see the civilization in Mesopotamia, Turkey, China, India, Greece, wherever they found a nice climate or better climate and better land, they localized themselves. And what we call the agricultural farm-based economy was born, and it was much of a local economy for almost from that era till about 400, 500 years ago. So globalization leads to localization, and these days we have been talking about globalization. We also need to be prepared for phenomena of deglobalization as well. The globalization started with the basic industrial age, arrival of the industrialized age. One of the major reason, of course, one can talk about the trade globalization, which happened because the ships got built, the transportation capability got built, etc., and so on. So trade across the various communities living very, very far apart began to happen. But more importantly, once the industrialized age came around with a steam engine and electricity, and the invention of aircraft happened, the distances become much shorter. The global reach became a phenomena where one can connect with the people, or in other words, the connectivity and interaction became an important aspect, and that led to the next phase of globalization. That globalization led to certain ugly trends as well. And those ugly trends were that globalization was led by mainly Portugal, Spain, and United Kingdom in form of East India Company, and we have seen impact of it not only on India but also on Africa. Much of the African continent, etc., all got globalized but did not get the benefit, only the wealth of their got transferred in that form of globalization. So globalization comes with a certain fruitful things. It also comes with lots and lots of dangers. And we need to be careful about those dangers. The next phase of the globalization has been given rise, what Thomas Friedman wrote in his book called World is Flat. Right? And that globalization is a phenomena which was driven by communication technology. More importantly, by computing technology, or in other words, called convergence of three technologies: the content technology, the communication technology, and computing technology. Over a period, you've noticed the content became digital in nature. Not because the computing people wanted to do it digital in nature, but because as we are trying to improve the products, the quality of products, the sound itself we wanted to improve. And when we are trying to improve the quality of a sound, you remember from record players, we shifted to the cassettes. All of them were noise prone. There was no way you can distinguish between a signal and noise. You amplified one, both got amplified. So there was a wonderful mathematician called Fourier who had given rise to something called a Fourier theorem, and which later on led to what we call the sampling theorem. Right? Starting with that branch of mathematics, these people said that if you just sample any continuous signal, with twice the maximum frequency, you will be able to reproduce it, the exact signal. And the sampling led to discrete or digitized information, which was stored in zeros and ones and bits and bytes, and what we got in our music system was called CDs or compact disc. Compact disc development is an independent development. Computing, on the other hand, evolved because of that automation, etc., and I'm not going to repeat the various phases of automation, etc., that industry wanted it. Routine tasks needed to be done better, more efficient, in more efficient fashion. So that also continued to happen. Late 80s, the convergence of two happened. The CD, which was actually required a CD player, but CD was also a 0-1 storage device, so computer people started storing information in it. And then somebody created a little software program which said, using the computer, I can play a CD. That was the beginning, but then rest of the content, whether it's movies, any analog content which was there, got digitized. With the digitization of a content, computing power coming to that level, both happening at the same arena, when you are able to converge, the next phenomena which happens is a communication. The quality of communication, which was in analog signal, with the digitization also got the same benefits. And when you got the same benefits, you are able to communicate what a Sprint, those days fiber optic cable provider, used to say, you can hear a pin drop at the other end. That was the quality of communication of a fiber optic or a digitized media versus these age-old analog phones. So the data began to travel on telephone wires as well. And once these three things got integrated together, we had a flat world, because information stored on your computers, whether it's a music, movie, software product, or any other form of digitized information, can traverse from one end of the universe to another of the end of the universe in no time. That created world as one big market platform. The rest is a history that people came up with a much better interface called World Wide Web, through which you can navigate this complex platform in a very simplified manner. Right? This is what Thomas Friedman called the world is flat. Everybody, whoever has content connected on a computing network capability or a communication capability, can access the information from one end to another end. The communication was a bottleneck even in 90s, but then today that communication is a given phenomena. I don't know how many of you remember that in close to 2000, a 64 kbps line used to cost us few lakh per year. And today we don't even think of 64 kbps, we think of 64 mbps line or a gigabits per second lines at the same cost. The cost of communication is so low that now we don't worry about transferring megabytes of data back and forth. With this convergence coming in, globalization came in. It didn't matter as long as what we call the smart services. Smart services are the one which do not require a person physical work at the other end. For example, I want to buy a piece of software or I want to make use of some piece of software. It's a smart service. It's a service can be in India, user can be anywhere. And that's why you remember that India became a back-end processing center for rest of the world. Whether it was a British Airways, whether it was any other airlines, you see their call centers all were served from India. That was the fruits of globalization we begin to earn, because now we are on the network, we are on the same platform, and a new form of globalization begin to happen. In this globalization, India got the upper hand. Upper hand because we had a smart manpower providing smart services, sitting in India, ability to earn or export our services without going to those countries are being present there. The other services which required physical form also begin to come in, and that's where people begin to make a mistake thinking they will also be globalized. So we got into this globalized world phenomena, but then soon we begin to switch and think in a different form. If you see, because of this globalization, many of the other companies begin to think that they can globalize and offer their services sitting in their own countries. And many of these, what we call the e-commerce site came in India, abroad, trying to globalize. And much of those efforts have not succeeded. Without localizing them again, right? If you look at Amazon.com as an example, which wanted to globalize in India, initial attempts failed. They set up a shop in India, tried globalizing it. India made them change their model. Today, Amazon USA and Amazon India are a two different model. Amazon India is actually nothing but an aggregator of multiple suppliers and aggregators of buyer, and it's a platform. Many of those small buyers who are benefiting from that platform, Amazon, in order to guarantee the quality, because the buyer you may see and you may not buy product, they call it Amazon Prime, guaranteed by IM, backed by Amazon, and so on. So their products are brought to Amazon's warehouse, quality checked and supplied by Amazon, but actually it's a supplier's product which is sold. Only Amazon is acting as an intermediary. Uber tried the same thing. When it came to Indian market space, same thing happened. It has to localize itself. So Uber America and Uber India are two different companies operating in two different models. The overall ownership in today's globalized world, one doesn't know which company is owned by which country's shareholders, etc., and so on. In general, of course, the regulators know, but in general, you can't be sure about the identity of a company. But Uber India had to localize itself. So from globalization, we had to move. When you are going to do non-smart services, you have to deglobalize yourself in order to survive in this country. All those who tried. The even bigger example is a eBay.com. eBay was a C2C or customer to customer selling company. In India, it's not a C2C. India, actually, when they launched it, they found not enough takers. So they bought a company in India called Bazi.com. And Bazi.com was an interesting phenomenon which was already on the eBay model, but using the Indian scenario. The Indian scenario is there are lots and lots of small shopkeepers. So they had put 10,000 shopkeepers at one end, acting as a consumers who are selling their products or auctioning their products. The other consumers were buying the products. So what these people ended up doing by buying Bazi, they learned that they need to have this local model. The true consumers will not be selling. It's the small sellers who can act as a consumer will be selling. So that was the great phenomenon which has happened. In this globalization and deglobalization, today we are sitting at a new era. A new era which is what we call driven by AI and machine language, AI/ML. What this AI is doing? AI has several aspects which has an impact on our education. The first and foremost aspect of that AI, which you're talking about, is already in the physical space called robot technology. Right? And we have seen the robots working in a factory environment. Robots have been working in these factories for almost 30 years. But there was a difference in today when we are talking about AI-driven robots versus those robots. Those robots are doing heavy lifting, dangerous tasks, caged in a certain area where human beings are not supposed to be loitering around and roaming around. And human beings are working in another area which is a safer area for them. Today's robots or sensible AI-driven robots which have lots of sensors and they're able to sense things around them. How does it change the industrial landscape? It changes the landscape because if you remember when the globalization happened, the first phenomena, prior to the arrival of industrial age, we were highly custom product driven. Everything was customized. I got my shirt made from a tailor who measured and made the shirt for me and shirt for you. Any other product you take, you went to somebody and got a customized product for that person. The cost of that product was slightly higher because each product has to be customized. The efficiency of production was not very high because you could not mass produce or huge volumes you could produce. Their globalization and industrial age gave rise to a phenomena where mass assembly lines could be done, standardized product, standardized quality, lower cost. As you increase the production size, the cost continued to went down. And that made these customized products go out of market. And we all begin to wear the shirt either one size higher or one size lower, and you are lucky if your body fitted into one of that standard size. But we lost that because I could get this shirt much cheaper compared to the custom-made shirt. Right? That people talked about efficient technology, job losses will happen, etc., and so on. But the job losses did not happen. The newer kind of job got created. Yes, the traditional job owners disappeared or traditional job doers disappeared. Instead of new quality, a new kind of job doers, these factory workers came in. Deep inside, we all have a desire to get the custom product. Only I would not like to pay much higher price. So if for the same price, I can find a customized product, I would love to have that product with me. The new AI-driven robotic phenomena gives rise to that. Right. Many times people are calling them cobots rather than robots. These cobots and humans can work and sense each other's work together. So you can order a product which is a customized product. Human and this AI robot working together can bring a variable assembly line exactly opposite of what we have been studying and teaching our management student. Even flow, standardized sizes, etc. in assembly line. Right? So that theory of even flow, etc. is disappearing. We can do it because human beings cannot do heavy lifting. Human beings get tired. So we can put the robot arms to do all that heavy duty, dangerous job. Let human being do the softer job. If you're manufacturing a car door, there's lots of wiring goes inside. That robots don't do in any factory. Today, the door is lifted and done. The human being fits the wiring, etc. and so on. But those two things are done in two different compartments because they have to be protected. Today, they can stand next to each other. What a human being can do, ask the robot arm to lift the door, put the wiring connections on, tell the next robot, stamp it so the door and its shutter can rivet together. None of the dangerous tasks or heavy duty tasks robot has to do. All the softer tasks robot will do, but they have to be careful that if human is slow, human is lethargic, robot shouldn't continue to do the same speed and ram into the human being. Right? Being a sensitized robot, they work in tandem with these human beings. And what I'm talking is not a hypothetical phenomenon which will happen. This is what today's BMW's assembly line looks like. This is how Mercedes assembly line looks like. This is how Toyota's assembly line looks like. This one time has given rise to more human employment. Because now, along with robots, these human beings have to be there. So this phenomena saying robots will eat away the humans' jobs, because of the customized manufacturing, humans are required to be the brain, and robots are the augmenter of the or amplifier of the capability of human being. So I'm operating these robots to do all that as if I had a stronger arms, stronger capability of doing the minute work, etc. and so on. So robots assist, augment the capability of human being. That means these factory lines, in order to do customized product, have to do more employment of human being. Now this assembly line does not manufacture only one kind of product. You may have all customized doors getting manufactured in the same assembly line. So it's also giving you a multi-purpose assembly lines rather than a single purpose assembly line which we used to have. And that is why you see much of the US car manufacturer or the traditional Japanese car manufacturer, the car design did not change. Or whenever they changed the design, they had to change the assembly line. Because the cost involved in assembly line was such that they tried deriving the same model or same imprint of the car or same base of the car for several years. In today's environment, we can change the base of the car, the design of the car, with each individual car coming out of the assembly line. Right? So that's the new globalization to deglobalization model, because each country will have different kind of requirements. I don't have to drive the same set of cars or same kind of cars. If I have a narrow roads, probably will need a more comfortable yet smaller cars. People who have a wider road and a different kind of requirement, they may carry on with the larger cars and more voluminous cars. People, according to their taste, may order different kind of products which are customized for them, and customization will vary from country to country. So the globalization technology evolved, and this technology itself which evolved and created an opportunity by creating the flat world and created the environment of a massive globalization in past 20 years, is actually providing us opportunity by taking the newer nuance of customization, is going to provide us more different kind of employment. Of course, these people need to be more intelligent. The last example I'll tell you is that how intelligent the human beings have to be and why human beings have to be there. You see many of these power plants today, usually when the power plant turbine, if it's installed slightly or it has a wobbly, etc., will wear out faster. And if it wears out when the turbine gives up or bearings of turbine give up, we realize that phenomena. Today we have sensor-based turbines. And we also have digital twins. So many of the power plant manufacturers, you'll find the turbine's digital twin informs you that this turbine is wearing, or its following components are wearing at a faster pace than the usual, and its lifetime will be reduced by so much. This information we are getting, but you need a human to comprehend that information. Integrate that, because these robotic sensor-based technologies are also driven by machine learning, and that can provide you new capability. Now this human being is supposed to ask intelligent questions. What are the solutions? And if it's a machine learned environment, the chatbot or cobot may be able to answer that question, that there are 3 solutions or 4 solutions, either bring down the power plant, replace this component, or you can say that since it's a sensor base, there's an adjustability, turbine angle should be adjusted, or its a base should be adjusted, because at the time of installation or over a period the base has sunk a little bit here and there. So it will produce those solutions. You can also ask those questions that what will be the financial impact of it? And you can also tell you each solution will have this kind of financial impact of repairing it or fixing it, and the kind of downtime, etc. So what will be the output risk available with which is going to happen. So again, in this environment, you require more human beings to be employed, but these are slightly, what you call, how to integrate the robot, intelligent human beings, in a sense, who are trained or have acquired a skill of what kind of questions to be asked from a AI driven cobot. That's the new environment, and that's the era of globalization and deglobalization. And as and when we are able to sense it, the countries which will be able to adopt it quickly will continue to rise faster. Typically, we have been lagging in adapting. We have been actually a second mover or third mover anytime a technology trend change has happened. I think this is opportunity. This country, the educational institute can come together, lead the way for the industry, and provide them a direction that we should be moving faster in this new environment and create a what we call make in India or deglobalized world, where more and more people, our people, are trained for the right skills and are able to find employment for themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your insightful thoughts with us. Now, it's time to recognize excellence and innovation in our midst. The Best Paper Awards are a testament to the outstanding contributions made by some of the brightest minds at this conference. These papers have not only demonstrated exceptional research, but have also added immense value to our collective knowledge. Now, let's proceed to the much anticipated moment of presenting the Best Paper Awards. I now invite Professor Rajesh Jain, 16th ISDSI Conference Co-Chair, to announce the names.
Good afternoon to all. First time I'm sitting here, otherwise I used to sit, and whenever I used to lose out, I always had a doubt. The process had not been fair. So we have around more than 500 presentations, and I think 494 people might say that process had not been fair. So let me start with the fact that we live in a social construction of reality. So despite all efforts, the perception still may be the same, but let me just let you go through the process so that maybe some of the people will understand that at least an effort was made so that the process remains fair. So at 3 stages, we tried to do the evaluation. At the first stage, more than 50 reviewers, the 500 papers were sent, and they were asked, would you like to suggest or recommend this paper for the best paper category? So it was not said that if somebody has got 10 papers, they have to say all the 10 might have been recommended for the best paper award category. So this was the first. And the review were anonymous. We had told the authors not to mention their name. Some people had mentioned names, so we had deleted them. So at first stage, we tried to maintain that sort of anonymized, single-blinded or double-blinded review process. At the second stage, what we did, we wrote to Professor Arnav Adhikari because he looks after the research and publication committee, to recommend the name of 3 professors who would be sent those papers. So we sent them those papers, and on a variety of parameters they reviewed. So I think one more layer of anonymization was done. Third layer of anonymization is generally we could not do, because what I felt when I was sitting in the losing out category, that the categories and the winners are decided before the presentation. So I did not want to do this. So every paper, whether it was physically presented or online presented, was reviewed. An evaluation form along with the papers in advance were sent to all the technical chairs. They may certify it. They were asked to read the papers in advance, and they were asked to review the paper while the presentation was being taken or the presentation was being made. For every 44 tracks, we had designated track coordinators. Their job was to ensure that they have an evaluation sheet. Advanced evaluation sheets were also kept in. The sheets are collected. One person was designated to document every night, 26th night, 27th night, 28th night, this was done. So yesterday at 2:30 a.m., Professor Jagan sir sent me the sheet of the presentation. I woke up, I had advanced the Professor Arnavatkari that you will get the seat. I don't know what time, but before the morning, wee hours, I sent the sheet to him because he had to give some weightage to all the three categories, so some 20, 40, I don't know, I haven't seen also. Some weightage was given. In the morning, I told my, the PhD volunteers, Chahat, Subh and you have to compile it. So at 8:30 a.m., I told our account guy, you have to prepare the checks on the name. He told, sir, there are five, out of the 5, only 2 signatories are present in the campus. I called Professor Tanushree Datta and Professor Amit Sachan, sir, please come, your signs are required. So by 9:45 in some sealed envelope, I got the name. So though I have tried to do, I don't know, but 494 people, what they think, but I know that I have been fair to the process and only now I am seeing the names. So sir, what we had done, we had declared in advance that we will have 6 awards under 2 categories. Doctoral, the people who make papers in doctoral consortiums will also get the same treatment. So on 26th, the pre-doctoral day 0, presentation, the choice was given to the authors in advance whether you would like your paper to be considered for doctoral consortium or for the full session. So this is based on their choice. Lot of changes were made. So 3 best papers, first, second and third, under the doctoral track category, and the 3 amongst the 27th and 28th. So I would like to request Professor Bharat Bhaskar sir, Professor Maitri sir and Professor Deepak Srivastava sir. So I would start from the first doctoral track category, and the 3rd prize goes to Padmalini Singh. She is from IIM Kozhikode. With the submission ID in 17, the topic is consumer behavior in digital age and insight on social media campaigns in promoting health and hygiene behavior among millennials. May I invite Padmalini Singh or somebody who represents Padmalini Singh? No? Okay. Then I would like the 2nd prize goes to Vidisha Sarkhel. Is she there? The title is Examination of Relationship of Mindfulness, Self-Compassion and Happiness among Faculty Members of Public and Private Universities of Ranchi. The first prize goes to Mr. Rakesh Kumar from IIM Ranchi. The title is Innovation Classification, a Growth Strategy Perspective for IT Firm. Now for the doctoral tracks. No, sorry, I made a mistake. After Padmalini Singh, the 2nd prize in doctoral consortium category goes to Akhil Raju from University of Hyderabad. Is he here? The topic is investor behavior and home bias. Yeah, the first prize in doctoral consortium category goes to Mr. Subh Majumdar, IIM Ranchi. The topic is examining the nexus of employee voice and engagement in remote work paradigms and in-depth exploration via mediation, moderation, analysis of managerial communication traits. Now in the academics category, the 3rd prize goes to Siddharth Gaurav Majhi from IIM Sambalpur. We could not communicate the This is in advance. The topic is public social media use and managerial capability, the case of knowledge workers. The second prize goes to Miss Vidisha Sarkel from Usha Martin University. The title is Examination of Relationship of Mindfulness, Self-Compassion and Happiness among Faculty Members of Public and Private Universities of Ranchi. And the first prize goes to Mr. Rakesh Kumar from IIM Ranchi. Is he here? The title is Innovation Classification, a Growth Strategy Perspective for IT Firm. We will courier the certificate along with the checks to all the winners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of continuity and collaboration, we stand at a significant juncture of our conference, a symbolic moment of passing the ISDSI Global Conference baton to the next institute that will host this prestigious event next year. As we embark on this tradition, let's celebrate the exchange of knowledge, ideas, and the legacy that unites us in the realm of decision sciences. I now invite Professor Rajashri Brijesh Pillai, Director in Charge, Pune Institute of Business Management, to kindly come on the dais and receive the baton from Professor Deepak Kumar Srivastava, Director IIM Ranchi.
Let me just add a couple of more lines. Please, aye. Mr. Anand, Dr. Anand, please join in. So we are going to Pune next year, and under the leadership of under the patronship of Professor Chandan Chaudhary. May I request Professor Chaudhary to be on the dais? And will be hosted by Pune Institute of Business Management in Pune. So Professor Deepak Srivastava is passing on the baton, and a really big shoes for them PIBM team to fill in. And under the patronship of Professor Chandan Chaudhary, very soon we'll be announcing the theme, and the dates would remain same. The tradition of ISDSI means 26, 27, 28, 29. 26 being the doctoral consortium, and the core conference is between 27 and 29. So mark your calendar, and see you soon there. One kick. Yeah. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Look forward to seeing you.
As we conclude this remarkable journey of shared knowledge and achievement, now I request Professor Deepak Kumar Srivastava, Director IIM Ranchi, to felicitate our chief guest of the event, Professor Bharat Bhaskar sir, by presenting a memento. Now, I request Professor Arindranath Mishra, Conference Co-Chair, to kindly present memento to Professor Bhimrao Maitri, sir, President, ISDSI Global. I request Professor Ambuj Anand, Conference Co-Chair, to kindly present memento to Professor Ravi Kumar Jain, General Secretary, ISDSI Global. Now, it is a time to get feedback from our participants. So I request Professor Arindranath Mishra, Conference Co-Chair, to kindly moderate.
You can announce from there.
Okay, sure.
How do you
Yeah, so volunteers kindly hand over the mics to whoever raises their hand. So in spite of our best effort and everything we have tried, there could be some small things that we can definitely improve upon. Professor Bharat Bhaskar, Director of IIM Ahmedabad, he gave a really interesting speech about how we transformed from the analog era to digital era. So there is a very small anecdote that when the CD was being developed by Philips and Sony, primarily Sony, but they had a collaboration. So that time, in spite of moving from analog to digital, still they were having some issues, like some small noise was there. So they realized that came because of reading error and because of jitter. So in order to avoid that, they introduced a feedback mechanism. So similar to that, we need to take some feedback from the audience, from people who have witnessed this conference, that how we can make changes to this so that it could be better. And what were your positive experiences? Some small anecdotes from your side will be extremely helpful. Two of them, yeah. So anybody who would like to share their experience? Yes, ma'am.
So I'm Dr. Kasturi Naik. I represent Sparsh Global Business School. And the entire experience on this campus, it was a wonderful experience, very enriching experience. I will start with the students. I met Gaurav personally to thank him for his resilience, which he showed throughout. And the maturity level of the students on this particular campus, because we do understand that once the 25th December ticks in, it's vacation time, but still the kind of maturity the students showed on the campus. Then we come to the, we had 500 plus papers here, but the kind of arrangements, the flow of the presentations, though because it was in hybrid mode, but it didn't felt like it was in hybrid mode. We actually felt that the presentations, the presenters who were online as well as offline, they were there in one room presenting. So the exchange of digital and the physical energy, we call it the phygital word, it actually was experienced here. The seamless coordination was experienced. And the true team knowledge harvesting, what is that? How do you thrive together and move towards excellence? Because when it is happening at such a huge level and all the esteemed dignitaries are here on the campus, but still the kind of seamless coordination, it was experienced. So thank you to the entire team. And even the topics for social impact conference the next year are wonderful. And we would look forward to come here. And thank you once again for making us a part of this conference.
Anybody else who would like to share their experience? Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Good afternoon, dignitaries. I thank Dr. Rajesh because we landed up suddenly to this conference. We came to know that we are going to host, and I thank Dr. Maitri and Professor Ravi for the same. Last moment we ended up here, I was in front of Dr. Rajesh and sir, I need accommodation. The way he has done everything for us, it's really recommendable. Also, starting from day one, I could see all the coordinators here. Also, they are working day and night, and even the themes, you know, it covers the accreditation, it covers the research, it covers the future of globalization, deglobalization. I think it was a feast of knowledge for everyone here. And of course, I would like to thank all the students who did that wonderful cultural activity. And I think it is one of the best conferences I have ever seen. And I congratulate IIM Ranchi for the same. And I could see it's a culmination of national and international guests. There's a lot of good opportunity for networking for all of us and share our knowledge. So apart from this, I take this opportunity to invite all of you to Pune PIBM next year. And I'm sure we will take this conference to the next level under the guidance of Dr. Maitri. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your feedback. I would just like to add one more thing, that this was one of the first conferences where we had an open channel for people to ask doubts or put their grievances. Initially, people were skeptical that it will be maybe bombarded with questions and all. But then we were so confident about our preparations that we thought that there should be no stone unturned to ensure that every participant, anybody who is entering the campus is given the best treatment possible. We tried from our side to ensure that Atithi Devo Bhava is actually practiced over here. Thank you. Okay, we have one more question.
My name is Arul Sindel. I'm coming from Jansen School of Business, Coimbatore. Initially, I thought, do I need to travel so long? And now I feel like it's worth pursuing. So thank you for all your coordination, and the eminent speakers, especially the panel discussions, are very enlightening. It was a wonderful opportunity for all of us, especially I have 5 years of experience after my doctoral degree. And it's a time for connecting people, and I had a great time here. Thank you so much, especially to the leadership and all the faculty members and students communities. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I invite Professor Rajesh Chan, the conference co-chair, to extend the vote of thanks.
Once again, good afternoon. Distinguished chief guest, other dignitaries on the dais, faculty colleagues, staff, my dear PhD scholars, MBA scholars, IPM scholars, ladies and gentlemen. As I stand today to deliver the vote of thanks, I would like to slightly move away from the conventional thing of using I. Though I am standing here, but I represent my 2 co-chairs, Professor Arindranath Misra and Professor Ambuj. So I will try to use we. If I forget, it's my fault, me kalpa. So generally people whose photos are on the websites of the conference website, on the conference chairs, and for any successful conference, all the credits, kudos and applause, and all the applauses which we see and the feedback that goes to them. But the real people who deserve all this are the people who work 24/7 on the backstage. So I think I am happy and fortunate to get this opportunity to, at least, the least that can be done to them is to express sincere words of gratitude, appreciation and thankfulness to those people who work on the backstage. First, the greatest sense of gratitude goes to all the participating delegates, those 1,078 authors, 218 institutions, who have made this conference to the stage we are now. I would like to express my thanks to the chief guest for the day, Professor Bharat Bhaskar, sir, for gracing the occasion, and it's very enlightening to listen to him because generally we forget the history, and wherever we are, it all depends on how we started. So from the civilizational concepts of globalization, which I did not think about, so I got a different perspective, and so thank you very much, sir. I would also like to express my thanks to my the chief guest and keynote speakers for the first day, Professor Jagdish Seth, the keynote speaker and chief guest, Sri D. Kumarji, for a very insightful presentation that he had made to us, and he came to the campus personally. I would like to express my very sincere gratitude to Professor Muhammad Masrafe Hussain from Bangladesh, who has taken the initiative to lead the ISDSI Global Bangladesh chapter, and I think in times to come we will have the global footprints of the ISDSI will keep on expanding with each passing edition from the 18th edition onward. And I think during 1 year, by the time we stand at the PIBM next year on the 29th afternoon, I think the internationalization of true internationalization of the ISDSI would have taken place. The ISDSI global team deserves, so no words are sufficient to express my thanks to Maitri sir, Professor Ravi Kumar Jain sir, Professor Ramchandran Natarajan sir, Professor Khitkar sir, Soni Agarwal ma'am, who is not here today, Professor Prasant Gupta, Professor Alok, Professor Ambika Prasad Nanda, and many more, who were always there to express. Professor Prakash Avasthi always wanted to tell me, sir, we have lot of data to share and please speak to me. Sometime I used to get time, and so they were always there to. Professor Rajvinder Singh sir, sorry I missed you. So they were always there to in whatever form they could have done. So whatever the number of submissions they have seen, everybody is saying that Mr. Jain has done this. I have not done this. I have just tried to follow whatever they have guided in terms of how many times we have to give the we have to remind the people to submit the paper, do the registration. So everything, so all credit goes to the team. As soon as I joined, I met the director, sir. He told me the conference is yours. And I think more than me, so at each day, I and him were the last person to leave the campus. And the discussion was only related to the ISDSI conference. So it became a norm that 10:30 was a normal routine for us. So minute details of the conference, from the gifting to the finalization, and I don't remember right now, but so what is something which I remember is something. Before I used to say, sir, can we do this? The answer implicitly was, please go ahead. So despite lot of so I think at least in case of the ISDSI, the approval process became so smooth that the paper from, I think, 8 to 10 signatures, it used to take only 5 minutes sort of thing. Because they knew that the final signature has to be made by director, sir. And the approval is coming from him in advance. So this was the way, the support I got. The program committee, the large organizing team, the technical advisory board, the international advisory board, the associated journals, ICICI, Sodexo, media partners, all my credit, my sincere appreciation goes to them because they were always there to help in all the possible ways. In last 4 days, we were around 50 esteemed panel members from India across the globe. So my sincere appreciation to them. 72 reviewers, around 55 technical chairs, track coordinators. Last but not the least, the moderators, Professor Prosenjit, Professor Tuhin Gupta, Professor Aditya Shankar Misra, Professor Srita Jha, Professor Gaurav Manohar Marathe, Professor Khitkar sir, Professor Deepak Kumar Srivastava sir, all the moderators, they did a wonderful job. My faculty colleagues, they have been the source of immense support for the conference. Anand sir is sitting, Ansuman sir is sitting, Amit Sachan sir is sitting, Professor Arnav Adhikari, Professor Jagan sir, Professor Sweta Jha, Professor Tanusri Datta, all have been of immense support to make the conference a great success. My team of staff members, Swati, Vineet, Manas, Mustaq, Ashish, Rani, Dr. Jayanta, Sushil sir, Ajay ji, all Vikas, all have been great support in making this conference. Professor Manish deserves a very special mention because handling a challenge of ensuring that we serve the food from this particular kitchen, it is all because of him. Hats off to him, because till 5 a.m. in the morning, he was here to help this conference a great success. So great hats off to him. The baton passes to PIBM, and I started in the inaugural address also that last 16 and 17 edition have established a rich tradition, rich legacy. So you are going to shoulder a huge responsibility. And because the expectation and the bar for the conference has been raised higher, you would have to do a lot of efforts. Lot of effort because it requires really lot of effort to ensure that, because there is a lot of challenge. More than 15 conferences takes place in the December. People are allowed to only attend 2 to 3 conferences from the budgets. So it's a demand supply gap. You have to have sustainable competitive edge and advantages over the other conferences, what you are offering, what ISDSI 18th edition will offer, which other conferences are not offering, so that the submission number, the minimum benchmark for you, with your permission, sir, should be set at least 600,000. We are with you. So I was conservative, sorry. So 1,004 digit number should be the minimum benchmark. If I have missed somebody, my bounded rationality, because right now I am not able to remember names, otherwise I am good at remembering. So if I have missed, that's an unintentional efforts. So on behalf of I am Rachi, I once again express my sincere gratitude, thanks, appreciation to each one of you who have been physically present in the campus, who have attended the, sir, what we have done this time, we have tried to democratize the knowledge. So we have done YouTube streaming for all of our sessions, so that people have joined online and the sessions will be available with them on the YouTube mode, so they can see the YouTube. The publishing in high impact journals like type of sessions are the most sought after sessions, so we did not want them to be restricted only to the people who have registered for the conference. So it's made available. Devaran sir is smiling, Satish sir is smiling, because they were studying and they know how, what is the worth for those type of sessions. So now, not taking much of your time, I thank the Almighty that I am standing here. And once again, thank you all.
As we conclude this remarkable event, I request everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे
Thank you. There's a small announcement. The award winners are requested to please come on the dais to have a group photograph.
अच्छा कोई और लेके चला गया।